New week, no episode. New week, new episode here. Yeah, if you can already see, I'm thinking about Christmas and having the weekend off already. But let's not get ahead of ourselves because it's a new podcast, new episode.
Gotta get down to business.
With Austin. Yeah, let's gotta do it because the Cowboys surely didn't. But it just sucks that they didn't get to play this past weekend. So I don't know what you guys did with y'all's weekend.
Yeah,
if the Cowboys weren't able to play because they just didn't show up. So I don't know what happened. But yeah, not a victory Monday or victory podcast. Clearly, we got a lot to talk about because there was Monday Night Football, and if we would have been recording it, we wouldn't have seen it. But the Eagles lost, so they suck even worse than we do. And I think Tommy DeVito can do it twice or maybe just once. We're asking for it once.
Just need one. So just need one.
Yeah, just even one. Again, a lot to talk about. We'll talk about the disaster weekend as a Cowboy fan. The Rangers signed someone pretty cool throughout this past week. But we got some bad news on injuries with that. Dallas Mavericks, Luka is still Daddy Luka. Even before he was a dad, he was still a Daddy Luka. And then, basketball, football. What else are we missing?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's really not much going on.
Oh, and baseball, in the baseball. We'll talk about baseball at the end, and that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. But how was your weekend? Got anything fun going on?
Yeah, it was fun. Oh, funny story. So yeah, we had a pajama party. I did not pull up in pajamas because there was unfortunate events at where I was at. I just didn't keep track of timing, and people were already kicking me for it because I was super late to this party. But we made it. I got some fake PJs going on, but also we stayed the night. And that morning, I don't know if Raul told you, but the door was like wide open. The front door.
No way. That's crazy. I had no idea. I
didn't know Raul got up and he was like whispering, obviously, because we left like at 7:30. I was pissed. He tapped me on the shoulder. He said, "Bro, let's go." I was like, "Dude, we went to bed at 3. What you waking me up for?"
I think we woke up at like 9:45 or 10, and so it wasn't like that long after you guys left that we woke up. But Natalie was telling me that she like looked at the ring and she just like saw you like walking out in those pajama pants. I was like,
dude, oh god, I hated those pajama pants. That was bad.
I know you were comfortable though. I know you had.
I was comfortable and I was warm. I was comfortable and I was warm. That's all that mattered.
That's what matters.
All that mattered. Yeah.
Dang. Hey, you were low key on one though. I'm not gonna lie.
What you mean?
You were just you were having a good time, bro.
So because we were playing that game, the Saran wrap game.
Oh yeah.
Where you roll the dice and you have to do, if you do doubles, then you keep it going and you wear like the mittens, the glove mitts or whatever.
Yeah, the oven mitts.
And so there was a bunch of shooters, a bunch of whatever. So that was your quote unquote prize, but it didn't seem like a prize at the moment. If you're like, oh yeah, and then everyone's like, oh, you gotta chug it, and you go, okay, that's what cooked me.
You didn't question it.
I only had one beer at that party. I was already kind of a little bit crunk from the family function. Yeah. Got there, had that, and I had a rum chata, a Deep Eddies. I had like 4 shooters in the span of like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and then I had your the espresso martini, but like I didn't wake up that cooked as I thought I would have. Oh, and I had like 2 shots too when we first got there. I didn't know. I definitely woke up drunk. I woke up drunk. I was so glad I didn't drive. I woke up spinning, bro.
And also like right before you went to bed, Raul and I got you with the tequila. We were like, oh, we're drinking it too.
I drank a little bit. You guys handed me a whole ass brand new tequila, took the sealing off of it, or the wrap of it, and I looked at it and I said, this could really just fuck me up for the rest of the day, for the rest of the night, for tomorrow. So I literally just took a little bit of a sip. And I saw y'all looking at me. They were like, bro, look. I was like, okay, chill. I was like, I know y'all was watching me, but I didn't do that much. I promise. I couldn't.
Damn. No, it was fun though. I had a good weekend. Chill.
It was fun. It was very fun.
Yeah. Cowboys didn't play, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't worried about anything on the Sunday because...
Nah.
There was nothing to worry about.
Well, I think that's the podcast, right? That's about it. Nothing really happened.
Yeah. See you guys next week. Hope you guys have a really good Christmas.
Yeah. I guess to get down to the rough news, right? So Cowboys kind of humiliating loss to the Bills, 31-10, and really it was honestly 31-3. Aside from a garbage time touchdown by CD, which was almost pretty big for fantasy for me, but
yeah,
then end up not mattering. Got cooked by James Cook. 25 carries,
Yep.
almost 180 yards and a tud. 2 receptions, another 42 yards and a tud. Yeah, man, just shows that we still have issues with the run, just like we do against the Niners. And, I would have never thought that the Bills were a team that were run first team, but they clearly were, in the rain and the bad weather. So kind of just exposed a lot of issues. What do you, I guess give me your thoughts. Let me see what you think, and all that stuff.
Yeah, like you said, if you would have told me, let's say, hey, the Bills dismantled like so and so, not even have to be the Cowboys, just any team, and just say Josh Allen threw the ball for I think 15 times. I think he went 7 for 15, and he didn't even break 100.
It was not shit,
right?
Yeah,
didn't even break
100 yards.
Exactly. So they didn't even break 100. He's like, yeah, and they put up 31 points, and you go, the Josh Allen, the Josh Allen Buffalo Bills did that, and like you said, it's just the run defense and being on the road again. I don't know what it is with this Cowboys team. For as long as I can remember, it's just in the McCarthy era, I think. Penalties and the road. It just does not go well together. Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah,
nothing was going your way.
One thing I was kind of interested in whenever I was just kind of looking around at like the playoff standings and all that stuff. The Cowboys are 0-3 on grass. So, I mean, I don't know. I think the pretty much all of our losses have come outdoors too. So I don't know if that's something to look into for the future, but definitely kind of an interesting note. But I think still like overall, we just kind of play with like dog shit on the grass or on the road, especially when we've done so well when it comes to like making AT&T kind of like, I don't want to say a fortress, but like they've just played well.
It's getting there, I think. Yeah, it's getting there.
It's constantly loud. It's tough for opposing teams to kind of hear and stuff like that. So I think that that's cool, but still like it was just kind of an embarrassing loss. It just felt like nothing could go right, specifically on offense, right? I think that just couldn't. Yeah. It's one of those like chain reaction things, I think, is that the defense was on the field for so long because of the run, and then the Cowboys kind of got out of a rhythm on offense. And then whenever the Cowboys were out of rhythm on offense, they went 3 and out or barely got a first down, and then the defense was right back on the field and just getting worn down. And it doesn't help when we don't have like two of our linebackers that play a lot of snaps. Like one of them is Marquise Bell, that's a converted safety. The other one is Damone Clark, that like isn't really a run stopping linebacker. So it just kind of shows like when it comes to like, I guess like gap fitting and kind of getting into space and making a tackle, just like it's not good. And then we just don't have I think we have great pass rushers with, Micah, with DeMarcus Lawrence, even like Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler and stuff like that. But like still the interior is just something that just is kind of like a point of weakness, and probably the point of weakness when it comes to our defense. And it's just shown to be gashed and able to do so against teams like the Bills, like the Niners. And unfortunately, like there's another team out there in Baltimore that kind of has the same kind of deal where they're kind of predominantly run first team that, has a quarterback that has the ability to make a play. So it just shows like if we were to come up, good thing is, right, Bills, Ravens, they're not in our conference, but still like you're going to have to get through the Niners to get to the Super Bowl. You're going to have to get to the Bills. Like if you want to win a Super Bowl, you're going to have to either beat the Bills or beat the Ravens or hope somebody beats them. So I think that it just kind of exposes a lot of problems in our defense, even though that we do have a good defense and it's shown that it's a good defense. But when you're not getting turnovers and you're not getting ahead in early downs, like it just hurts, and it's not good it's not winning success, especially when offense isn't able to get in a rhythm.
Yeah, no, I agree with all those points. And on top of that, it just seems like every time it's a Cowboy game, they've led the league in penalties for how many years now? They're doing it now.
Really, since Mike McCarthy's been coach. Yeah,
exactly. And it has to be a coaching thing. Like, you can't teach that, but why is your team so undisciplined?
Exactly.
Right when you think you can do it, you get a penalty, and we just kept extending drives that wasn't helping. So on top of your poor performance, right when the times that you could count on your hand, when you stop them, you extend the drive. Yeah, that hit that was kind of debatable. Who was it? That
I think the big one, the Sam Williams punt. The Sam Williams punt.
How did he not block that?
I think that's a big one too, because, and I don't know if you saw, but like McCarthy was reaming the special teams coordinator after that. So like,
really?
I think that, and he's made like the bad thing is he's made big plays, and I think he's blocked a punt already this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it was a great like he got through the line.
Dude,
he made I saw a video on Twitter of like showing that he made like a quick like pre-snap adjustment, and the long snappers are ultimately blocking air because he moved the last minute.
He just went through the middle.
Yeah, and it's just so many things that are like you just got to be smarter, and like whenever you're like they teach like whenever you're going to block a punt, like you put your hands down and low, and you're not supposed to jump. And one, it allows you to take the ball off the foot, and two, it prevents you from running into the kicker. You're going where you want to go. Like it's just dumb all around. So I think that just so many sloppy little mistakes that kind of add up and cause us to look like absolute fools when, where the moment, Dak is back to being MVP favorite, like Micah's DPOY favorite. I mean, the Cowboys are probably up there in Super Bowl like favorite conversations. So it's just this team has to learn how to get out of its way somehow, and they haven't done it yet. And that's how that's why like people like you are a pessimist, right? Like you just see like it's the same old Cowboys, like no matter who it is, like they're always gonna like whatever they're gonna do, they're always gonna fuck up and just make a mistake. So I don't know. I think that the team has a lot of potential, and I think that this is kind of what they needed. They were on such a good streak since that 49ers game, or I guess really since the Eagles loss in Philly.
Yeah.
That I think they needed to be brought back down to reality and show like, hey, we need to kind of get something figured out, and like we're not invincible. We're not this team that can run the table and go 14-3. Like we need these reality checks and kind of get us back on track.
No, I agree. I mean, let's be honest. As much as we wanted them to win out and win every game, they won. Was it 5 straight?
It was 5 or 6 straight. Yeah,
it was 5 or 6 straight. Like that's already more than enough than what you're asking. And you come into your death schedule, and we said realistically you want to come out 2-1.
Yep.
So that means now you got to win at Miami, run heavy offense with Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert. I don't know if you want to look that far ahead already, but and then you got the Detroit Lions with Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery.
David Montgomery, yeah.
David Montgomery.
Yeah, man. I think that this is obviously gonna cause a lot of issues, and I think this is a team that I'm really interested in seeing how we perform against. I think I saw something today that between the two teams, we have one win against a team that's above 500. So I didn't realize that
Eagles and Cowboys.
Like the Cowboys and Dolphins only have one win.
Oh, okay.
So we're
both fraudulent.
Yeah. So.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's kind of interesting that the Cowboys are the only team they're getting discussed about this, weak schedule, and then Miami's currently leading the AFC, and nobody says a word. It's a star, baby. It's a star.
Yeah, it's Miami. Why would the media be talking about Miami? Who the fuck gives a shit about Miami? Come on.
Exactly. So,
crazy.
I don't know. I mean, I think I think if there were of like the 3 big games, I had a feeling that Buffalo was going to be the one that we were going to drop. I was worried about the weather. Josh Allen and them, like they fired their OC, and since then they've kind of been a force. They've been really good.
Yeah.
So, I think that this is a team that like we got to respond. We got to have a big game this week, and I think there's no better way to respond than go on the road to Miami and just obliterate them. And I don't know if it's possible. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it might be kind of similar to that Seahawks game in AT&T.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you have an opportunity to do so, and I think if you run up the points on Miami, or if you just show that like, hey, like we're in control of this game from the start, like that's going to go a lot to giving a lot of confidence back on the team, to showing like the national media, like, hey, like this is a team that doesn't deserve to be forgotten about just because they have one bad week. So I think this is the time, like 3 games going into the final, you got the final 3 games going into the playoffs. We officially clinched the playoff spot. So I think that this is a time to turn it up a notch and really kind of go and show like, hey, like we're the top dogs in the NFL. We should be in a Super Bowl conversation.
Yeah. I wasn't thinking about it in this way, but then people brought it to I forgot who they were interviewing. It's someone that got injured on the Cowboys. It's on the defensive side. Who got hurt this year on the defensive side? It's not Diggs.
It wasn't Hankins? Oh, or Overshawn?
No, it wasn't Overshawn. I have no idea what it was, but they were talking to him because it was like Cowboy Hour on the Fan, and I was just catching on the way back from the gym back home. and he was talking about how, I mean, yeah, he was there. Obviously, he lived the locker room. He could just tell that everyone got the notification, or everyone was on their phone when they saw that they clinched playoffs, like right before the game. So everyone saw it. Everyone knew that they were in playoffs already. So on top of the weather, Dak not playing good in the rain, everything against you, then you get that, and it was just the nature of being human. I mean, like we've mentioned it before. We both were athletes before. We've all played competitive. We played competitively, and we know what happens. Like human error, where you just
I don't know, you for whatever reason, you just mentally aren't there. You're mentally not there.
You don't want it. You're on the road. It's raining. It's cold. You're playing on grass. You hate grass. Clearly, it looks like it from the numbers. And you're just like, we've won 5 straight. Like we can lay down one, right? And you have on the other side, the Bills are fired up, like you said. No OC for a couple weeks now. They're fighting their ass off for playoffs, and you bring in the Dallas Cowboys into your stadium, and you can talk about their history from back then in the 90s with the Bills and Cowboys, and just be like, bro, let's go beat their ass. And the Cowboys are just, we already clinched playoffs. And I think the Bills just clearly just wanted it a lot more, and the Cowboys just didn't want to be there.
I think it was pretty clear. I mean, you could tell, like the Bills came out hot and just drove down the field and like just showed that like the Cowboys just like they had no business. They didn't want to get gritty. They didn't want to get tough. So I think it's gonna be a wake up call, and I think it's big. And I'm glad it happened. So it sucks in the moment, but it's the playoffs. Luckily, you kind of get bailed out with the Eagles losing last night. So I mean, still just got to win out. Got to win out and hope that they drop it, and we can hopefully clinch. I mean, if we win out, we have a pretty good shot. I think we have the shot at the 2 seed. So that's what you want, right? That's what you want. Get home field for majority of the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. As you can tell that we just look atrocious on the road. So you need that home field advantage as long as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. So and then the last question I have for you on the Cowboys is, I kind of saw a lot of people on Twitter kind of talking about this and seeing like if this is possible solution to the run. But should we move Micah back to being more of a true linebacker to help stop the run and be kind of that run presence? And they say that because when he's rushing the passer, right, whenever they're just running the ball down our throats, like he's just neutralized. How many big plays did he make last night or on Saturday? Yeah, like get him closer to the ball, get him like force them to throw the ball, and then when they're like at that point when they're throwing the ball, that's when you move Micah back down. I mean, I think you have the defensive ends to do so, and DeMarcus Lawrence and Dorrance Armstrong and even a couple other guys on the side. So what do you think about that, and think that that's a possible solution?
I think it's smart. That's something you definitely should be thinking about, like you said, because Micah is known for his pass rushing ability and just being able to just bounce 300-pound motherfuckers out of the way. But when they're running the ball, like what is he tries to get through for a tackle for loss, but clearly we know that, I mean, not every player is perfect, even like the best of the best. And Micah, you said, was a favorite for Defensive Player of the Year. And we kind of know that he struggles against the run. He kind of gets exposed whenever that comes into play. And they know that that's what takes him out to play and takes him out the game in general. So I think it's definitely something that Dan Quinn should be thinking about. Or I'm sure they have to have it in their back pocket, but I have no idea why there had to be something. I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt that they know why he wasn't playing more linebacker to have more presence in the game, like you said. No, yeah,
like he was played a little bit of linebacker and then transitioned back. No, like he was purely a linebacker, and that just happened to be a free top 3 in the league. Micah's a big dude, and he's put on a little bit of weight to be that edge rusher and kind of spend a little bit more time closer to the line of scrimmage. So I think that doing that and just putting him in the middle, let him play off the ball and let him chase down. I mean, he's still a freak athlete. He ran a 4.3. I mean, like he can still move. It's not like he's slow.
Yeah.
So I think that he probably won't. I don't think he would get exposed in coverage like that. So I think it's a good shout and kind of gives the defense a little bit of something to work with and maybe a little bit more of that run presence when it comes to making those run fits and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you might see it next week in Miami.
Hopefully.
Seeing how that run defense goes. I mean, I'd rather hope not. I hope that Mike is able to. Also, it doesn't help. You want the Cowboys to get ahead in the game. That's what you want. The Cowboys to be ahead in the game. They play way better when they're ahead. And we've talked. I think next week you should start with the ball regardless. If you win the coin toss, get the ball, and if you don't, then Miami's probably going to defer more than likely.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about that. I think that this team just feeds off of being ahead, and they're clearly built to stop the pass, right? I mean, and so when it comes to the playmakers they have at corner and safety, and obviously, right, I mean, you have 3 stud pass rushers that can get you 7+ sacks a season. So I think that's something that is clearly like necessary. I think you're right. I think you got to take the ball however way you can get it, and hopefully you drive down the field and convert and just come out all cylinders. So, well, with that, I think that's a little bit of Cowboys talk. Anything to talk about NFL wise? Or are you ready to move to the Mavs?
I'm ready for Mavs, man. Yeah, come on, let's do it.
All right, so your Dallas Mavericks are 16-10 in the last week. They went 1-2. They had a loss to Minnesota. In the middle, they had a loss to Portland, or a win against Portland, and then last night they kind of got walked out of the gym by Denver.
I saw that coming.
I think that there's just so many injuries right now that it just like isn't good. I mean, the second best player right now is Dante Exum. So if that doesn't tell you anything, I think that I don't know what to tell you. I mean, Luka's averaged 39 in the last 3 games. 39 and
he goes down the MVP ladder on the NBA site.
Makes no sense. Yeah, and he was just named Western Conference Player of the Week. I guess that was yesterday. He was named Western Conference Player of the Week for last week. Very well deserved. I mean, last week he had a 39, 13, and 6, and then a 40, 10, and 12 game. And then he followed that up last night going 38, 8, and 11. So, I mean, Luka's just absolutely on another level right now, but it sucks because you don't have anybody that's hitting those shots with him. I mean, Tim Hardaway is you're probably the second person that you can count on scoring, and he's such a streaky shooter that, I mean, one night he'll have 25 like he did against Portland, and then when it comes to the games against Minnesota and Denver, I mean, he's like 10 points, 12 points, like nothing that's going to be there to set you apart and allow Luka to carry you.
Yeah, that's how I see it. And like you said, injuries, I mean, it goes around with everyone. But even with healthy people, I think you don't lose that bad, but it's still a loss against Denver just because their height or just their big. And I mean, Jokic didn't even do anything crazy last night. He was, oh my God, like I have to scroll really far down. Jokic went 8, 9, and 7 last night.
Yeah,
and they won by
doesn't
26.
Make sense. Yeah, I think
he knows that he doesn't have to do stuff that he doesn't have to just to win the game, which is, I wish that the Mavericks had players that like Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Reggie Jackson dropping 20 on your head.
Ugh. Sickening. I don't know. I think the team has to make a move. I don't know if they're going to make it yet. I think they'll probably make it closer and, closer to the trade deadline. But it's just like Dante Exum obviously has had a really good season, and since Kyrie's been out, he's had a really good stretch. I think he had 14, 4, and 4 last week against Minnesota, then 18, 3, and 2 against Portland, and then I think he had 12 points or something like that last night against Denver. So just like when that's your second leading scorer and consistently your second option, like Dante Exum wasn't playing in the NBA last year, I don't think. Like it's Luka and me and you out there basically, like just guys that aren't.
I put up a better effort than Dwight Powell, bro. I'll tell you that.
And then it doesn't hurt. Like Derek Lively has kind of been super key to.
And he got hurt too. That's another big thing.
He's hurt. Yeah, he's hurt, and I think he played 6 minutes against Portland. Now he's in a walking boot. Grant Williams is like started the season so hot, and he's cold. Derek Jones Jr. Him and Derek Jones Jr. Grant Williams, they combined for 3 of 19 from the field, 2 of 13 from 3, 8 points, 1 rebound, and 7 assists. Or 8 points, 1 assist, 7 rebounds against Minnesota. Like, when you have two guys that are starting for you that need to be playing like big minutes, and I think we've done really good when Derek Jones Jr. has like scored over 10. And like when you need guys like that to score, and it's just not happening. And I think Derek Jones Jr. is kind of having a career year with us, but still, like you just need the consistency. And unfortunately, that's something that we really haven't had from anybody outside of Luka this year.
Yeah, and we can even go back with previous years. We know Luka's gonna go get his buckets. Like we know that for a fact. And tomorrow, or you're listening to today on Wednesday, the Mavs are playing the Clippers, and the Clippers they're hot. They've won 8 in a row. Harden's getting there. I'll be there, heckling all the Clipper players, especially Harden. Hoping that we get a dub. I think it should be a good game, but then again, if all the guys are out again next week, I think tomorrow. I think I saw a tweet already who's going to be out. I missed it. I'm pretty sure all the regular guys are going to be out again.
Yeah.
And
mean,
it's just, I mean, Minnesota. I'll go back to Minnesota. Their bigs are just. I mean, that's what kills you. I mean, for how long have we said that we need a center?
Yep.
And I mean, you had what's his name? Derek Lively. Derek Lively was playing, but you had Naz Reid off the bench, get you 27. Karl Anthony Towns 21, 17, 21 points, 17 rebounds. And when you face a team like that, you're gonna get exposed. And I think what's good is that in a long season like this, just keep winning the games you're supposed to be. From my recent recollection, I don't think we've lost a game that you're like, damn, you should have beat that team.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think you've been losing to teams that are competitive, which is bad. Don't get me wrong, it's bad. I mean, we lost to the Grizzlies, so I mean that's one game. Yeah. I think that was the day that Luka didn't play.
I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think that sounds right. Like there was a
Luka
reason
was
why
out that
we
game.
lost.
Yeah, Luka had his kid, obviously. You lose to Thunder, okay, you lose to the Clippers, the Kings, Bucks. Pelicans is debatable.
Those are all good teams. The Pels are a good team. They're not bad.
Yeah. But again, to my point, that's what you're right now. You're fifth, so which is good. You want to stay out of that play-in, and it's still a long season. But if you just keep beating those teams you're supposed to beat, you're fine. And obviously, we're gonna go through and watch games, and we're gonna critique you and say, "Hey, you gotta do it against a good team." And every now and then, you're gonna beat a good team. But if you're playing a team with guys like Sabonis, Miles Turner, just bigger guys, you're gonna get outboarded, and you're just gonna get everything. The second chance points are what kills you, unless you're shooting lights out. And every now and then, you'll see the Mavs hit like 18 threes in a game, and that's when you know they win a game, and they'll barely win it. But yeah, if you keep going like this and just beat the teams you're supposed to and try to be somewhat competitive, but you'll see that I think there's definitely going to be a change in new guys. And like you said, you mentioned you want to talk about the guy we were linked to this past week.
Yeah. So this past week, the Mavs are one of, I think it was 3 teams that were linked with Isaiah Stewart. So he is on the Detroit Pistons, a power forward center. Detroit obviously is kind of trying to sell right now. They're currently 2-25, and they are on a 24-game losing streak. So they started 2-1, haven't won a game since. Haven't won a game since the Rangers won the World Series, actually. So the Rangers have won a game more recently than them. Your world champion World Series Rangers, had to throw that in there.
Yeah, World Series champs.
Yeah, big body, 6'8", 250. He started 25 games for 25 of the 27 games for the Pistons, averaging 30 minutes per game, shooting roughly 45.5% from the field, almost 37% from 3 on like 3.5 attempts per game, which is pretty good for a big man. Averaging 10.2 points, 1.5 assists. What I was kind of disappointed in was his defensive rating. I mean, I think we kind of need defensive help when it comes to these big men. I don't think we need a big man that has to score, because I mean, we have Luka, we have guys that can shoot. I mean, I think if we can count on a big man to get 8 to 10 points, and combine that with Derek Lively getting 8 to 12 points a game, like I think that's perfect. Just working on getting those rebounds. So his defensive rating is 121, but he has in the past had a defensive rating of 109, which is probably that's better closer to the lower side of the league, which is kind of what you want. And I think part of that is also he's just on a bad team. I mean, the Pistons are horrible. It's not like
you can't blame him with that one.
You can't really talk about it. So I think that I don't really think that he would cost a ton to be taken back to. I mean, maybe like Maxi Kleber and Rashawn Holmes or something like that, and just some veteran presence that they can get out of expiring contracts, basically, which they have the money to do so, because it's not like they're an old team. They have a lot of these young guys. So I think that's something that could definitely benefit the Mavs. But I was looking on Basketball Reference and kind of just looking through the Pistons teams, and the name James Wiseman came up. And so obviously, right, a former second overall pick, true center, 7-footer, has played in 17 games, hasn't started. He's averaging about 14 minutes a game. But what I was kind of impressed with was he's shooting almost 72% from the field, which is crazy. And that's what you want. Yeah, I mean, 14 minutes a game, he's averaging over 7 points, has 4.2 rebounds a game, really good offensive rating of 125. Defensive rating isn't great, but still, it's pretty similar when it comes to Isaiah Stewart. So I think that's somebody that like, hey, like maybe you get him off a bad team, get him. I know obviously, right? Like the Pistons kind of took him from the Warriors to kind of get him out of Golden State, but maybe that's somebody too that you take a chance on just to get extra big man depth. I mean, it couldn't hurt to have somebody like him. I mean, he obviously has kind of high potential. He was a high draft pick, making a little bit of money just because he was drafted so high. But I mean, you give up like Dwight Powell or Maxi Kleber, and that's relatively the same amount of money that he's going to be making. So I think they're both good shouts. I think Isaiah Stewart would kind of start obviously a little bit more than James Wiseman would be, but it's hard to say like for to combine both of them with Derek Lively. I feel like that wouldn't be a bad front court three.
Yeah, no, that's a great shot. I like that for dark horse for James Wiseman. He's quietly having a. I mean, if you look at the Pistons team, who could you say is good? I mean, yeah, you have Cade Cunningham. I don't know who's else on that team.
One of the Thompson brothers.
Bogdanovich, Marvin Bagley.
Yeah. Alex Burks is having a good year.
Yeah, the Thompson brothers.
But like, it's just still like, I think that they're going to have to reset. Like they're I mean, this is an all-time bad, like 24-game losing streak is just horrible. And they're just so young.
If you can find anyone from that team that would be willing to get bought, they'll probably take it, you know? And it's like, damn, we can't get any worse. And like, if we can get something out of this shitty-ass team, might as well try to. So I don't see why there's not a reason why Mark Cuban isn't calling and sending him like a sack of potatoes and some Dwight Powell, and he'll accept the bag of potatoes and not Dwight Powell. So I don't see why he wouldn't make that phone call. But I do like that James Wiseman one. I think that's
yeah,
I see why not. Because you're not looking for a. I mean, Derek Lively's I think living up to the hype or just even exceeding the hype. And if you want him to be more of a 6-man guy coming off the bench or just split time with someone, if you want to go get a superstar, go ahead. I mean, by all means.
No, I mean, absolutely.
I feel like James Wiseman sounds like a pretty realistic one.
I think it's a realistic depth piece. You know what I mean?
Last 4 games, 10, 17, 20, 10 points.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
And
so
I think that's a good shout. I think it's good offensive stats, and I think this team has obviously kind of shown that they need some offense too. So yeah, man, that's what I think the John Collins shout was there too. I've kind of moved off of wanting that to happen. That. I think that like he clearly isn't somebody that he didn't really work out in Atlanta. He's not working out in Utah. I think that maybe there's better options out there. Apparently, Lauri Markkanen is kind of on the trade block and interested in being moved, which that is somebody that would really like if you really want to go for it and try to make a big play. I think that Lauri's a good shout.
That'd be massive.
But I think it's going to be tough to get him because I don't know if we have the assets to do it.
Yeah, I don't think so either. There's just no shot. Yeah.
But it wouldn't be a bad little move. Would not be.
Oh no, for sure. So, I would love that. I don't care who you would give up, to be honest, for that one. But I just realistically, I don't see that happening.
Yeah. But
it's a good
anyway. So I guess the upcoming week we got the Clippers, we got the Rockets on the road, we got the Spurs back at home, and then we got the Suns on Christmas night. So
yeah, I saw that. I had no idea.
Yeah. So quick little prediction. What are you thinking over the next week? The next 4 games. You got a prediction record wise?
Tomorrow.
I think that's a L. I think that's a L. I'm gonna say it. I think it's a L.
Okay, I'm gonna say dub. I'm gonna go dub.
I think best case
because I'm gonna be there. I'm 1-0. I'm 1-0 today. I'm 1-0 this year. I'm at games. Just let you know.
Hopefully you're 3-0. Hopefully you're 3-0.
Hopefully I'm 3-0 because so tomorrow or today, Wednesday, Mavs win against the Clippers because Luka loves playing against the Clippers.
He does.
He's gonna have to not pass the ball. He's gonna have to drop 70 points most likely, and Dante Exum drops like
31.
Like give me like 18, 20, yeah. Rockets at home. Now I'm gonna be there. Luka knows I'm gonna be there. I talked to him before.
You talked to him. He said that.
Yeah, I talked to him. He said that he was gonna put on a show both nights. So
I like it.
Dylan Brooks is gonna fire him up, and I don't give a fuck if the Rockets are good at home. You're going 2-0 at this point.
Okay.
And then you got who's else after that?
Spurs at home.
Oh, Spurs at home.
That's a dub. Another team that's really bad.
Yeah. And then you're telling me the Phoenix Suns on Christmas night. It's at Phoenix, all right.
Yeah, it's in Phoenix, but Bradley Beal's hurt again. So it's not the big three. It's only the two.
Oh, exactly. That, and that's actually like Luka owns that. Like that's part of his assets. Him,
You might have talked me into thinking that they're going to go 4-0. You might have talked me into it.
Why would they not? Please tell me. Why would they not? I'm being optimistic for once, okay? Please let me enjoy this while it lasts. Because when we come back and these guys go like 1-3. Okay,
they only
chill.
beat the Spurs. They beat the Spurs.
That's fine. If you just beat the Spurs, that's fine. I mean, but I would hope they beat the Rockets.
I think they go 2-2. I think they beat the Rockets.
2-2 is realistic. 2-2 is realistic.
2-2 is realistic.
I like that. If we come back to this 1-3, I'm gonna be disappointed.
Yeah, it's tough.
I'll tell you
that's tough.
But it's probably gonna happen. To be honest, it might be 1-3.
Yeah, that's gonna. We got a tough schedule coming up, so we got to get some wins. We got to beat the teams that we're supposed to. Got to beat the teams that we're supposed to.
Exactly. Let's just do that. We'll be fine. We're not supposed to be contenders just yet. Not yet.
No. We're a piece away. We've known that.
Piece away.
But anyway, there's some big news in the outfield, so let's get out there and talk about the Rangers. Talk about some of the moves they're making. See what else is going on.
Oh yeah, let's get ready. Your Texas Rangers, your World Series champs, if you haven't heard it enough. And if you're watching this on YouTube, we're repping the Rangers still. Come on. I got my Corey Seager shirt on.
Have to. Come on now.
Wasn't even planned. But Rangers finally signed someone, another pitcher, starting pitcher, that can't play until July. With Max Scherzer. So over this past week, Max Scherzer comes out. He's like, yeah, I did surgery, but hoping to see you on the summer. So maybe June, July, and I think he loves the game a lot. So I think he's going to take his rehab really seriously. So he'll come back maybe a little bit sooner than expected, but let's say June. And then July, you got Tyler Mahle that just signed with the Reds.
Yeah, new guy.
Yeah, from the Reds, signs with us. He's 29. He was hurt last year, but when he started, he was pretty good. In 2021, his last full season, he threw 180 innings over 33 starts. 27.7 K ratio, 8.4% walking, and a 3.75 ERA, which is pretty damn good.
I like it.
Yeah, he's also pretty good. He's a fly ball pitcher, so you're probably going to be really scared when you see him pitch. You just think he's going to get cranked every single time. So, trust me, that's not going to happen because your outfield's going to be Cody Bellinger, Leody Taveras, Adolis, and Evan Carter. There's 4 people in the outfield now.
And White Langford.
If you didn't know.
White Langford.
And White Langford. We're going to have 5 outfielders, guys. We're going to get rid of Nathaniel Lowe and the catcher. So we're not going to have a catcher or a first baseman because we don't need him. Because Adolis will just hose the ball to himself from the outfield to the infield.
Just run down there.
Yeah. Fuck it. Why not? I like the signing. A lot of people do like the signing. I think it's going to be... From what I saw, it's very back heavy, the contract. So it's going to be...
Yeah,
it's gonna make
I think he was only getting like 5 or 6 this year, and then he was getting like 15 or 16 next year.
Yeah, he's getting like 15 or something next year. So, yeah, so our starting lineup is going to be kind of as of right now. To start the season, your starting rotation is Nathan Eovaldi, Dane Dunning, not in any order yet. I'm just throwing them out there. Nathan Eovaldi, Dane Dunning, John Gray, Cody Bradford, and Andrew Heaney. Those are your 5 for right now. Which doesn't
That's
as
not
a
bad.
Ranger homer,
It'll eat up some innings.
This doesn't sound terrible. Like I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But knowing that you're gonna miss out on Montgomery, it's kind of hurting. It's starting to set in a little bit.
He was asking for crazy money though, like 6 for 170.
If you're looking at it,
6 for 170 is crazy.
And if that's what he's doing, and if the Rangers don't match that, my respects to them. And my question to you is: are you like pocket watching the Rangers, or are you like, we won the World Series, I could give 2 shits what we do right now?
I think
that they've built eager to win more?
I think that they've built up enough goodwill that you kind of have to trust them, and that they're.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're trying to be smart with what they're doing, and it's not like they're sitting out here trying to lose ball games. Like they just won a World Series, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think that they either like the guys that they got, or they're working on stuff in the background, and they're just like, hey, like we're not going to drop, $170 million, almost $30 million a year on a guy that like yeah, he did have a great season with us and he helped us win this World Series. But, like, what if he regresses? You know what I mean? So I think it's understandable, and I kind of understand it.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm not upset that I would like them to go out and get somebody like fucking Cody Bradford, or not Cody Bradford, like Cody Bellinger, or like go get a true starting pitcher. But, like, still, I think that you have to believe in the process, because I think since, like, the new management has kind of come in, I think they've made nothing but good decisions and took us and like helped the Rangers take the next step every season. So I think, obviously, right, yeah, you kind of have to be worried, like, oh, why aren't they spending any money? Like, these guys aren't going to play till July. But, like, when everybody gets back, like, we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right.
Think about the rotation when people are healthy.
Crazy. Like, we got DeGrom, and DeGrom might not even play next year.
I was like, you probably most likely won't see DeGrom next year. Maybe a playoff push like with Walker Buehler was about to do. But I think they're going to be really, 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 really smart and just hold off on DeGrom as much as possible. Because he's going to be out for, or like he'd be sitting for so much time and enough rehab to get him to take advantage of all the years that you just paid him and then come back even better. So, and I'm excited to see Mally. He throws some okay stuff. Nothing too fast, but I heard his splitter is pretty nice. That's his strikeout pitch. So I'm excited to see him. Excited to see new faces, and I'm okay with them just trying to get those like those whack bullpen arms that just kind of happen out of nowhere. Yeah. Those, like, not the wows, but the thing is, like, I mean, relief pitchers come and go, and that's the reason they get traded at the deadline. And with who was our old GM? Old GM.
Chris Young was the guy we have now, right?
Yeah. Fuck. Okay. Old GM. He always praised, like, not to buy relief pitchers. Like, you just don't do that. You don't spend on relief pitchers. We all thought that Josh Hader was going to be the guy for us, and then everyone's like, hey, you just won. Josh Hader's going to be that guy for you because so-and-so. But he's asking for crazy amount of money, and a lot of stuff in the locker room stuff with him last year with the Padres when they're not technically out of playoff contention, but they kind of were. And he said, yeah, I'm not pitching 2 innings. What the fuck you think I'm doing, bro? Like, we suck. I'm not doing that for you. So, I mean, that affect them a little bit, but a team's going to pay that money. I know it is, and it looks like it's going to be the Dodgers. So, but, yeah, they just didn't believe in the philosophy in paying a relief pitcher because they say that you produce them or you just trade for them at the deadline, which is not a terrible idea. If you get your team to where they're supposed to be and, like, win the games you're supposed to and are at a good rate and good, steady, just winning games by the All-Star break, yeah, go ahead and trade for your guys because you do not have good history on producing pitchers from your farm. You have all these prospects. Cole Reagans couldn't do it here, but he's probably going to be a top 3 guy for sure in the rotation for Kansas City. He already showed really good signs last year of it. Cole Winn, another guy. I think he's gotten already 2 Tommy Johns, and he hasn't developed right. Owen White, another guy that you saw this year. Jack Leiter.
Hey, come on.
Maybe he might have his shot this year.
Big season this year.
He might have his shot this year. I'm being honest. This might be his shot because let's say that they don't sign anyone. If I'm their agent, I'm like, hey, bro, you better step the fuck up.
Yeah,
your team's not signing anyone. They just signed a starting pitcher, but he's not pitching until July. And so is Scherzer.
Yeah, and I think this is his year to go. And if he's gonna make a big step, it's gonna be this year. I think that
has to be.
You kind of saw it towards the end of the year. You kind of saw it towards the end of the year in his AAA season. Whenever he went on the development list for a little bit, got there, kind of reworked his delivery, kind of worked on just the sequencing of his pitches and stuff like that. I think that's a good shout. And you saw them move him up to AAA for that AAA. I think it was the playoffs or something like that.
The playoff run.
So I mean, maybe he makes 2-3 starts in AAA, and he just is lights out and just comes out firing on all cylinders. And, like, maybe you see him in the beginning of May, come and make a start. And maybe he's that guy that can come up here and make a difference in the rotation. He's the guy that we've been hoping for. I mean, obviously, right, his last 2 seasons haven't really gone to plan, but I think there's a shout, and you have to hope that he still has that stuff that there's a reason why we drafted him number 2 overall. So
yeah, super high. And even that, his job might not even be being a starting pitcher.
Yeah,
he can be like a 6, 7, 8 inning guy. Yeah. Because our long reliever from last year will transition to the guys that we just lost. So Martin Perez, has left, signed with the Pirates yesterday for $8 million.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunate, but I'm hoping he does better. He did struggle a lot, even though he was your best pitcher 2 years ago.
Yep.
Was an all-star. Was it like a 3-something ERA last year, I think? Or the year before, obviously, 2 seasons ago.
He went crazy 2 years ago.
Stupid. He went crazy. And then I remember that season, I was on the board on like, trade this motherfucker, please. Like, we suck. Like, come on, like, let's be realistic. Like, he's not gonna keep this up. Finished the season off, comes back. It struggled a lot. He had like a high 4 ERA. Throw him in the bullpen. He was really decent in the bullpen though. When he came out of the bullpen, he was one of your decent guys. When you have to eat up innings, let's say your starter couldn't do it or stuff like that, he did really good. So let's see how he does with the Pirates as he has moved on. Other big news: the rich get richer. If you guys didn't know, Dodgers trade for Glass now. Yeah, I know. 30 years old, and they get Margot too in the outfield. They trade out Ryan Pepiot, one of the starters that played this year. Supposedly he's supposed to be a future ace maybe at some point, but not now, maybe in the next couple of years. And outfielder Johnny DeLuca. So this is the second time in 8 years that Glass now has hit over 100 innings pitched. This was his first time since forgot when, but he's been pretty bad. Or he just can't stay healthy. So they're paying him a lot of money.
That's crazy.
They extend him the contract. But his career high is 120 innings pitched, which was last year. But in his 8 seasons,
unbelievable.
He's only hit over 100 innings twice. So, but over the last 5 seasons, Glasnow's 12.5 K through 9 ranks third among starters, behind Spencer Strider, 13.6, and your World Series ace, Jacob deGrom, 12.8.
Come on now.
So when he's on, he's on.
Come on now.
I don't know if you guys remember. You guys should know this name because he was pitching Game 1 of the wild card. It was the Rays against the Rangers.
Yep.
He pitched lights out.
It was a tight game.
I think
it was a tight game.
He gave up. Did he give up 1 or 2 runs?
It was. I think he gave up 2. Like 1. Yeah, I think it was right there.
Yeah, so he was making us look stupid. When he's on, he's on. But again, it's another health factor thing. But I just sound pretty dumb if I'm over there complaining to the Dodgers for paying this guy when we did the same thing with Jacob deGrom. Because when deGrom's healthy, he's the best pitcher in the MLB. So they're taking they're going all in. They went last year without. Yeah, they're taking it. I mean, why not? I'm just mad that they're doing everything in their will to try to win, and we just haven't done anything. But we won it already, so like I can't be mad.
Yeah, you can't be that
greedy.
mad.
I'm asking for more.
Can't be that mad.
I'm asking for more, but we got the ring. Like I don't know. We'll see, because I don't want to call this a fluke, but most of our team did have career highs last year. Let's be honest.
I think it's due to regress to the mean is the bad thing. You don't want to say it. You don't want to say it, but
you don't want to say it. And I hope we're wrong. I hope we're totally wrong.
And that's when you hope that obviously, right, like Bochy went out and he like brought this roster up. Like everybody had career years, and there's a reason why we like brought him out of retirement, and he was that guy that helped us win this World Series title. So you got to hope that like, all right, he understands like what's going on. He understands like, hey, like a lot of guys had the best year that they've ever had. Like, how can we build on that? How can we get even better? Like, how can we progress?
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody like Leote, like how can we have him like get hot and stay hot all season long? Go from a 270 hitter to a 290 hitter. How can you get somebody like even though he's not your favorite player, but like Ezekiel Duran, that's a great like utility player and somebody that's good to have on a bench. Like he was hitting like 320 at one point. So like, how can we go from hitting 320 through the All-Star break to hitting 320 throughout the whole season in 300 plate appearances or something like that? So I think that's something that there's a reason why Bochy's getting paid what he does, and that he's been the best manager that we've had. I mean, I guess you can say ever, because he's the only one that's ever won a World Series. So I think that's kind of where he's going to make his money, and I think that's going to show like, all right, like how can we progress and how can we get even some of these guys like we've been talking about, like a Jack Leiter, or let's say that we have like Justin Foskey come up next year, or Owen White, like some of these guys
we might see that as a DH. Talking about Justin Foskey, since we really haven't signed a DH yet, we're looking for a DH.
Yeah, so I think that's where you're going to want Bochy to kind of come in and make his money and kind of continue to progress. So I don't think it's panic yet. But I think it's worth just keeping an eye on, see how we progress next year.
Yeah, and we can't forget that we can still trade people. I mean, you saw the Dodgers do it, but you just wonder who it's going to be. And if you really trust the progress that Wyatt Langford's doing, you might see Leote go.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of talks about my favorite player that's not obviously Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, Adolis Garcia. Has always been Nathaniel Lowe. He might be on the move. It looks like they might be going on for him, but that's a Gold Glover that you're replacing on first base. He's a Gold Glover, and last year he was Silver Slugger. It looks like he just keeps getting better every year. He was one of the best. He was the best offensive first baseman. And then they said, okay, yeah, but you're shit at defense. He had terrible defense. He was a really bad first baseman. But this year he said, all right, watch me. And he went out there and got you a gold fucking glove.
Got a Gold Glove. Yeah.
He was insane at first, dude. He's insane. So it'd be sad to see both of them go, but obviously you know that every single team is not going to be the same every year.
Absolutely.
This World Series team already coming apart. I don't want to say coming apart, but obviously it's not going to be the same again. You see Will Smith leave. Martin Perez left.
I mean, Austin Hedges.
Hedges left already. I'm sorry about Hedges. I really thought he would have come back. But if someone's going to pay him $3 million.
And he's getting paid more than Shohei Ohtani this year.
That's crazy.
But I think that like at the end of the day, right? Like you have to think about the fact that like none of our big pieces outside of Monty are leaving. Like towards the end of the stretch, like the guys that were the ones that made the plays, like they're all back, right? Like all of our pretty much everybody on offense is back. Like pretty much it's just like pitchers and rotation guys and even relievers that we're losing. So I think that we're gonna be okay. I don't think it's really worth
naturally. Yeah.
It happens naturally. It is what it is. So you just gotta hope that these guys take these next step. I mean, this was probably the best year that Dane Dunning's had in his career. So, how can somebody like him take another step and stay consistent and do what he was doing all season long. So I think you just, like I said, you just gotta trust what Chris Young and them are doing and what Boshy's got going on. So I think we're gonna be all right. I think the boys are gonna be all right.
No, I totally agree with you. There were so many times, I think both of us, that where you just try to question Bochy and Chris Young of everything, and you're just like, fuck, man, like, why did you do that? Why did you do that? And it always panned out perfect.
Matter.
I mean, they won the World Series, bro, so we cannot question anything about it. So I definitely trust them, and I think, like you pointed out, so many guys came back. You really only lost. I mean, every year you're going to lose a guy just to do free agency or just because whatever. But so many guys are coming back.
Yep.
So many guys are coming back. Like you said, startable, it's crazy because we developed like Montgomery and Mitch Garver, you could say, because he has some big home runs in the postseason. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but think about everybody that was a position player that started pretty much every game, right? Like everybody other than Seager and Semien were pretty much developed by the Rangers. Like Adolis, like I get it, we traded for him from the Cardinals, but like
you got him for fucking cash considerations.
He broke in with the Rangers. Like Leote was, I think, an international signing. Obviously, Evan Carter, draft pick. Josh Young, draft pick. Nathaniel Lowe. Was Nathaniel Lowe draft pick?
Trade. It was a trade. He was at the race.
But I mean, like he really like broke in. He broke in with us. I mean,
but he wasn't like an all-star when you got him. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Jonah Heim, another guy. Like he was.
Heim traded from in with that. Oakland. You gave up Elvis Andrus from Oakland.
Like, like just stuff like that. Like I think that we've developed these guys so much, and I think that there's just so much to show that like you still have to have faith in our player development system because it's worked. Like Jonah Heim has gone from somebody that was a great defensive catcher to now he was, I mean, probably one of the best, if not the best, offensive catcher in the league. So I think we got a good team. We got a good squad. I think we're gonna be all right. We're gonna keep raking and keep doing that.
Yeah. I want to go to my first opening day this year. That's gonna be my goal for next year. I want to be at opening day. I've never been at an opening day game.
Come on now.
So I would do everything in my power to go. It's against the Cubs too. I have a friend from Austin that's a Cubs fan. So he's like, bro, let's go. I'm like, dude, I'm there. So we're ready.
Say less.
It's fun that we get to talk about baseball so much, and you're just won the World Series. Holy fuck, that sounds good to say. We won the World Series.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, and just being so excited. Like today, I saw a post 100 more days until opening day. Just 100 more days.
Hey, that's not bad.
We're back at it. We're back at it.
Well, yeah. You got anything else to get off your chest? I think it might be a short one today.
Yeah, it might be a short one. Stayed under an hour. It's awesome. I'll just throw in Yamamoto real quick. He still hasn't signed. I promise you by next podcast, Yamamoto will have a team. And it's going to be the New York Yankees,
be a Dodger.
I think. Oh,
Oh,
I think he's a Yankee.
okay.
I think he's a Yankee.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's met twice in New York already. He met with the Mets. And I think he met with the Yankees twice. One was his, like, he wanted to meet with them again. He requested to meet with them again.
Interesting.
And I heard this mentioned a lot, too. People talking about if he goes to the Dodgers, it can be a good and bad thing. Good thing is that he won't have as much pressure because of Ohtani. Because of Shohei, obviously. But another reason he probably wants to go to the Dodgers because of Shohei. But if he goes to the Yankees, he definitely would be that. The fan base would love him.
Yeah.
Number one guy. And I just don't know how personally he is. I mean, obviously, like I said, we're human. Like, people have personalities. He's getting paid regardless. He's getting paid that 300 mil or however much he's asking a year. But if he's willing to be like, it's two like very historic teams with the Dodgers and Yankees, so you can't go wrong with any of them. And I guess I'd rather see him in the National League and not the American League.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Part of me says I'd rather see CC sign with somebody.
Because his time runs out in like first week of January, I think, or second week latest, something like that. So it's coming up. I thought it was going to happen today because I was seeing a bunch of tweets today from John Heyman and Jeff Passan. So I was like, it's going to happen today. But it hasn't happened. But before Christmas, I even think it'll happen. He'll have a team.
Yeah,
I think it's the Yankees. I think personally. Because they really haven't spent big yet. They traded for Juan Soto. Yes, they took that big contract, but they've been looking to add to that starting rotation with Garrett Cole. Think about Garrett Cole and Yamamoto. Oh, God. The Yankees are going to be scary next year, man. They're going to be scary. They had a pretty disappointing season this year, losing a bunch of Aaron Judge, but Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, and Yamamoto and Garrett Cole.
Come on now.
Yeah, Stan. Maybe a couple years ago, but not anymore. Still missing some offensive weapons, I think, personally, though, in their lineup. But they'll be a fun team to watch. But they got to worry about us.
All right. That's it. Hey, we're the champs. Come on now.
We're the champs, baby. Can't say that enough.
But
you can't say that enough.
With that, guys, that has been another episode of Austin Ollie Sports Podcast. It's episode 18. Thank you guys so much for hanging with us this year. We may or may not be back next week. We'll see. Keep you guys on your toes.
We'll see how crunk we get.
Heard that. But yes, guys, seriously, thank you guys so much for listening. Please go subscribe. Apple, Spotify, YouTube. We're up on all of them. Our TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff. Share with your friends. Give us a like. If you're on YouTube right now and you're watching this, hit the like button. That'll help us kind of get us out in the algorithm a little more. Kind of, you guys, you're watching this, you like it, so why don't you just tell people about it? That'd be awesome. Helps us out, helps you out.
Tell a friend.
Gets you guys to talk about it. Be a friend, tell a friend, guys. Thank you so much. And with that was another episode of Austin Ollie, a sports podcast. We'll see you guys next week. Maybe. Peace.
Maybe.